Hey, what's up? So this video is about laziness. So basically, like for myself, I experience highs and lows like everybody else does, but say like I recently performed my first piano recital and singing recital, and I posted videos of these things, and it was a big deal because um the journey of becoming a musician and an artist and all that kind of stuff, it takes time, and so it's an accomplishment. And so for myself, when I have a big accomplishment, I certainly take a little bit of time afterwards to relax and to let my hair down for what it's worth, and celebrate. And so, but I sometimes, you can get a little caught up in that. And then the thing is, you can go from being in a period of making a lot of progress in life to a place where you're not making any. And then the question is, okay, well, how to get back on track? Because it's okay to stop and do other things for a moment, but it's like when you're trying to get somewhere in your life, how do you get back, how do you get your nose back to the grindstone or whatever, right? So it's challenging. And so I've actually made this video before and it got deleted, and I feel inspired to do it after going for a run, because it's something that I think about. It's like, in order to essentially cultivate a higher energy, like a higher vibrancy, to have more vigor, so that you want to embrace life, so that you want to get out of bed, so that you want to channel your energy into things that are important, um, and not allow your energy to be put into things that are essentially going to have you end up spinning your wheels, right? And so this is the thing: how does a person go about doing that, right? Because it's not all about, life can't just be all about hustling and working and getting things done, and just like, you know I think, at least for myself, I need to have a bit of fun. I need to be social once in a while. I can't just always be isolated and doing my thing, right? So then, it's tricky to find a balance and to get back on track. It's one thing to fall off the wagon, it's another thing to get back on. And so, the thing that I have, that I feel, it has been my experience, is that laziness is, it's like it's a sickness, but it's like a disease, or it's like a virus. It doesn't just leave you. You have to take steps in order to get rid of it, because it gets like ingrained within you, because it's easy. And who doesn't want easy, to not have to put in effort, to not put in work, to just give in, to just enjoy eating foods, and drinking coffee, whatever stimulants or intoxicants float your boat. I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in this stuff, because it requires zero discipline, it requires zero self-control, it requires zero effort. You just do it and you just enjoy. But of course it can take its toll on you, and so eventually you realize, it's like, okay, well, this has been fun for a moment, but I mean, it's not a way of life, and that's the thing. And so it's like, how to get rid of laziness. And of course, like for myself, there are a few things. One of them is going running, because it's a high energy thing, and it takes, like, and not running too much, just say like running a few blocks, and then stopping, so not wearing yourself out. It also includes going to the gym. Like when I was coming off my little kind of celebration bender, and I was like, okay, it takes time. So you have to decide to stop, but then you have to get to a point where you're ready to stop all of it and say, okay, I don't need to drink coffee anymore. I don't need to eat these things. I don't need to treat myself. I don't need to hang out with certain people who have lifestyles that are not, you know, what is it? It's not good to be around certain people who do certain things with their lives when you're trying to do something else with yours. And so, you know, for me, that's one of the hardest things, is to get to that point where I'm ready, where it's like I've slowed down, and then I'm ready to stop, and then I'm ready to pick up and start anew. And then it's like getting to this place where it's like, okay, it takes days, you know, and your sleep system gets messed up because you don't want to. You still have things in your system, you know, that you have to work through, and one of them, aside from any kind of substances or intoxicants or stimulants, is this laziness, right? Because it becomes, I don't know, a part of you where you just, you know, because you're tired and you just want to sit around, you just want to zone out, you just want to turn on a movie or something like that, or, you know, find some way to, you know, escape all of your responsibilities, or not all of them, but you know what I mean, like things that mean a lot to you, but definitely require an amount of focus and discipline and self-control and effort, to be put into, right? And so, what is it? So the thing is, to get past all of this, yeah, going for a run is one of them. Eating healthy is, of course, one of them. Something for me that is inseparable from that is intermittent fasting. I do it 90% of the time because I've just found that when I eat early in the morning, I just start feeling tired. As long as I intermittent fast most of the time, I can eat in the morning once in a blue moon, but I just, for myself, it does not work. And I'm just at a place in my life where I am looking to accomplish certain things. I don't have time to just waste, you know, weeks and months of my life. I can take a couple days off or a week off, but it, you know, after a while, it's like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. And there's only, you know, you're the only one who can make a choice and say, hey, this isn't getting me to where I need to go. And it doesn't equal true happiness. I mean, yeah, I think that's part of it, is like you might distract yourself with any form of entertainment, whether it's social media or TV or movies or whatever it is, hanging out with friends, doing drugs, you know, eating foods, enjoying life, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, ultimately, you know, the real happiness is when you accomplish something awesome. You know, when you cultivate yourself into something, you know how proud I felt getting up on that stage and playing the theme from Beethoven's Fifth Symphony alongside my piano teacher. You know, there's nothing that's just the best, you know, that accomplishment anyway. So, and things like that, because I know that it's building towards something. That's just one little thing. That's the first step. And it's like, wow, if that felt good, it's going to feel even better, you know, a year or two down the road, when I'm not just a beginner anymore and I'm, you know, becoming a bit more adept at whatever the things that I'm pursuing, right? And so so the diet thing, and then sleeping too. And so here's this thing that is a part of this video of today, is it's to do with comfort. And I've just noticed how comfort can, and I'm sure you've heard this before, that comfort can lead to laziness. Like, you know how you'll lie in bed because it's nice and warm and you want to stay there because it's cozy. You know, there's just something about it. It's hard to tear yourself away from it because you've gotten accustomed to it, and it's enjoyable, and it's just like, even for myself, it's tough because even though I there's a part of me that's like, get out of bed, do this and then do that and do that, I just choose not to because I'm comfortable, right? And so it's a matter of getting out of that comfort zone. And another one of these things that I found is terrible is heat. I think it's the same thing with the bed, where it's like, but I'm talking like a heater. Like if I get up and I crank the heat and it gets warm to a point where I don't know, I don't function in the same way when it's really warm. I need it. For me, I will function 10 times better if I leave the temperature at the temperature where when I sleep and just put on clothes and get up and embrace the day in that way, rather than trying to rather than making the environment really comfortable, and certainly not eating, like I said, with the intermittent fasting, because as soon as you do, it changes what your body's doing. You go from processing things, and your body just stops everything else that is, well, it stops a lot of the things that it's doing, and it just starts digesting food. And for myself, I lose a huge amount of cognitive ability the moment I start eating anything. It doesn't seem to matter what it is, whether it's a granadilla or like fruit. And I just mean like a little bit of fruit. It doesn't help anything. But the thing is like you do sometimes feel these hunger pangs, and the thing is you need to push through it. You have to make a choice and say, no, I know better. I'm not going to give in to this, because it's ultimately going to lead to sadness down the road. It's not, because then I'm going to not be making progress, and then I'm not going to be proud of the progress that I made, and I'm going to be, maybe have some guilt or shame about the fact that I have chosen to waste another day and just to, squander my time, when it's like I could be moving closer and closer to my dream. And so the thing I don't want to forget is just that it's important to have a plan. And so something that I will do, I write these things out where it's just like, okay, this is what my morning looks like. And it's like, okay, well, what is my priority? And then I write some things, and it's like, no, 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 no. You start going through these things and you think about it. It's like, what is my priority? What do I really need to focus on? And then I write it again. But then even doing that, I do it wrong. And it's like I put things like yoga and meditation before something else. Like for me, it is writing. I need to get up and finish writing my book. But I get it in my mind somehow that, oh, well, if I just get up, do a little bit of yoga and meditation and all this kind of stuff, but it's like there's something about sitting there and doing that stuff, it I don't know, it doesn't lead to better writing. So then it's like going back to the drawing board, and it's like, no, priority is priority. That means get up and start writing the moment that you wake up. And so like I have a sleep cycle where I only sleep a few hours, but then I choose to lie in bed and roll around because this laziness thing, right? So then it's like trying to beat this laziness out. How can I stomp it out of my system? Because I know that I have reached states of being on numerous occasions, so many times, where it's not an issue, where I have beaten the laziness bug, and it's not a thing until essentially something happens in my life where I somehow get sidetracked or thrown off course, and then yada yada blah blah blah, right? But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, it's just, this video is about the comfort thing, about the laziness thing. And it's funny, that word, it's like taboo amongst people who are lazy. I really wouldn't recommend talking about it, because some people, it is a way of life, and it's like they defend it, or they just don't want to hear it. It's a word that's very loud, and it's not very pretty, because it points to something that's deep, but some people don't want to look at, right? And so yeah, I and another piece of this too that I think is important is it's like when you have made the choice to stomp out laziness, when it's like, okay, I'm infected, I can tell by my attitudes and behaviors, and it's just like I want to eradicate this disease, this virus from my body. Then you just start making moves. And what I have found that it's like, even, what do they say? There's a saying, it's even when you feel like you're not making any progress, you're making the most progress. And that's the thing, is that you just have to stick with it. And it's tough because it takes time, especially if you have been partaking in certain substances, whether it is like THC or caffeine or say like entertainment, movies, because that stuff, it gets ingrained in your psyche. It becomes something that you have become accustomed to, and you need to detox from the stuff. So when you do all of these other things, then it takes time for all of this stuff to come out in your dreams and for it to flush out of your system, because you are exercising, because you are, you're using all of your muscles and stuff. Like, that was the first thing that I did. One of the hardest things was like, okay, I am so tired right now. And then it's just like, you have to drag yourself to the gym. I mean, if that is something that you can do, I do. And so I drag myself there, and I just do what I can. I do a bunch of exercises. I work every muscle group, and then practice yoga afterwards. And then I'm so happy that I did afterwards. Do I feel amazing the next day? No. Maybe I feel 10% better, and it takes, it's a process of getting back up to 100%, where you're just like on fire and whatnot. Yeah, but another one of the things too that is that you have to be in control of is your sexual energy, your creative energy, especially if you are creatively inclined, which I am. My my thing is I'm in the process of becoming an artist right now, and that means playing a variety of instruments, as well as writing and whatnot. And I will share, there is this book that is amazing. It's called The Artist's Way. And so, by Julia Cameron, and no relation to James Cameron. It's funny, you look on the internet and somebody has like a blog that says that they are, but they're not. Anyways, this woman, she was married to Martin Scorsese, and really interesting, just a woman and how she found her way and felt guided to teach other creatives. And it's fantastic. This is something, I don't know, I've known about it for a long time, for decades, but I don't know, it wasn't for me. But now, having my singing teacher recommended it to me, and it's like, it's a course in discovering and recovering your creative self, because it's like you go through you have to recover. It's like you're an artist that has been traumatized just by life and society and things, and you have to heal from everything that you've been through, so that you can get back to creating and just let the creative juices flow through you. And I tell you, it's phenomenal. It's a spiritual path to higher creativity. I will say though that she uses the word God a lot. I mean, it's kind of can be used in like with creator, you know, creator, that kind of thing. For a lot of people, I think that could cause issues with, because, but if you're already there, if you don't have a problem with that word, and you can, you know, there is so much in this book. I am absolutely loving it, and it is on Spotify. And it's free if you have a premium subscription. It's also on Audible and whatnot. And yeah, what a great book. But yeah, so that's it.